I want to first start this podcast off by saying rest in peace to James Cook, father of Dalvin Cook. Absolutely horrible news. So Dalvin Cook recently flew back home to Miami to be with his family after the sudden passing of his father. Just awful news. He's not going to be with the team this upcoming Sunday against the Lions. There would have been no reason for him to suit up anyway. Thoughts, prayers, well wishes go out to the Cook family. Rest in peace to James Cook. As far as the topic of today's podcast, I had no interest in this upcoming Week 17 matchup, Vikings versus Lions. Meaningless game. The Vikings, they're not going to make the playoffs. I had zero interest up until today, when I saw the news that Riley Reiff, he's in the COVID-19 protocol right now, which if he doesn't play on Sunday, that could really hurt him financially. He could lose out on some incentives in his contract, and maybe he clears the protocol and he ends up playing after all. If not, however, it's Ezra Cleveland time, meaning I want to see this dude start at left tackle. These would be valuable reps for him in his development. If he starts Ezra Cleveland at left tackle, I'm in. I'm sitting my black ass down and watching that game every single snap that he plays. And you got to remember, the Minnesota Vikings, drafted Ezra Cleveland after you were trying to trade for Trent Williams. That trade fell through, so as a result, you drafted Ezra Cleveland as a left tackle, his natural position. And then you played him, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm bringing Ezra Cleveland in, I want him to work, even if you bring Riley Reiff back. Okay, fine. This dude needs to work on his development at left tackle. Nothing else. Leave him alone. Instead, you wanted to play him at right guard, which, in my opinion, is counterproductive. Playing left tackle, especially when you've played that position your whole life, this is a guy that needs to work in space. Agility, strength, balance, footwork, all of that stuff is super important. When you play him inside, when you're jumbled up inside of the offensive line, the value of the footwork of an offensive tackle is gone. It's absolutely gone. Add on to the fact that you're going up against the interior D linemen, the defensive tackles, which are much more stronger defensive linemen than you're used to. This man needs to play left tackle. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. And in fact, I'll even add on something to sweeten the deal. You just signed Kyle Hinton to your active roster. Start him at one of the guard spots. And you still have Oli Udoh on your roster. Start him at the opposite guard spot and see what they can do to be competition for next year. Not a downright lock to be RG or LG1 or the backup to that. Because you remember Drew Samia last year, Week 17 against the Bears. Oh my God, there are some good things to take away here. We're going to still start Pat Elflein's bum ass, but right behind him, we're going to bring in Drew Samia. No, to see what they can do to be competition, to add on quality bodies through the draft and or free agency. Let's see what we can make with this offensive line. If I see news that Ezra Cleveland is starting, I'm all in. If you bring in Kyle Hinton and Oli Udoh as well, now we're talking about a party. We do this 3 times a week. In fact, actually, not this week. Tomorrow, no podcast. New Year's Eve. I will be back next week. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. You can catch me on Twitter at realistic_Randy, Facebook at realistic Randy. We'll see you next week. Happy New Year's, everyone.